Okay, good morning. How is everyone doing on Wednesday, March 31st, 2021? All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Let's see what we have today. So, yesterday's session, relatively flat. SPY put in a pretty low range and also relatively range bound type of candle. Not a ton of volume overall, so a lot of consolidation taking place. One thing that's worth noting is we are staying elevated in this price area around 395. And when we look at the 4-hour chart, the overall picture for a bullish case is looking more and more promising because we did have that strong push from the lows a couple of days ago. Now we're consolidating in this range. So short term, we are looking at some of the lows that are being placed. That's going to be around 393. And then we're looking at this high. I'm going to go ahead and pause here while we work out some audio issues. Okay, the room can hear me though, correct? I'm coming in clear inside of the chat. Okay. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So just to recap for those on YouTube, essentially SPY structure looking bullish. We had a push off of the lows, off of the 50, breaking through the 20. We're holding what it could be perceived as a bull flag, and we're starting to put in some short range consolidation candles. We're obviously looking at lower time frames for some short term ranges, and that's going to be around 393 and 396.75. Overall, picture is looking bullish with 20,5200 sitting below and also sloping upward. And we've also got this sort of general breakout zone that we cleared I believe last week, or maybe Monday of this week. Yeah, Friday. So Friday session, we cleared that, and that led into this Monday breakout. Yeah, trying to remember my days here. 30-day 1 hour value is sitting still at 390, the majority of our value, but we do have a volume shelf being formed right around here, and we're sitting right at the VA high. So normal conditions, we would say if you're at the VA high, you may want to fade back to the majority of value. But since we've passed through this range multiple times, we're actually looking to maybe some short-term opportunity for a breakout, and that could lead us back to the all-time high and potentially the high of this channel, which sits somewhere around maybe the 400 to 405 range. So that would be a short-term target, potentially on the break of this flag, as it does follow the rules of a flag in that you mostly want to double the range of the flag pole. So if we made it from 380, 390 all the way to 396, we'll just call that about 12 points in the SPY. And then we'd want to project that on a breakout to kind of perceive where the market could go on a strong bullish breakout from this flag pattern. So SPY overall looking solid. We obviously don't want to lose this lower range that we're forming, and we want to keep up some of the bullish momentum. On the Qs, we are holding in this consolidation pattern. We have not lost 310, which is our major support area, and we are generally doing a similar consolidation, albeit at lower prices and with a I'll say a neutral structure. We don't have a bullish structure as of yet because we haven't seen the breakout quite yet. They are simply not going bearish at this point, and that is an opportunity for potentially good risk to reward if we can find the right direction. 4 hour time frame, you can see that I drew out a rough pennant at this point. It is starting to form in this way, so we may as well mark it. 310 is going to be our support zone. We're starting to hold higher prices throughout some of the intraday sessions. And then we're also kind of creeping into this, this downtrend resistance, which is going to be the top of our pennant and potentially a breakout point. We know that the 200 in the 4 hour time frame does act as resistance. So if we were to break out, we'd want to see them not only clear the 200, but also close above it, maybe for more than just one candle. And that would be a great indication that not only have the Qs shown us some directionality, but they're also willing to go through resistance zones that we've had in the past. And this would be noted here, 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 and also here to some degree as we did push down from this point. Volume profile. The shelf of volume is sitting slightly below at 313.83. You can see in pre-market, we're actually starting to push away from this value. So this is a relatively good sign. We do have this shelf at 316. So it's notable to us that as they break out, we want to see them get away from these value zones. We want to essentially be convinced to almost no doubt that they're pushing away from this area and they want to target some higher prices. So the value play here is that we do have this shelf, and on a breakout, we want them to clear the shelf without any sort of hesitation. We just want them to go right through that price. That would be obviously a very bullish scenario. If they have to consolidate it, then they could build a little bit more energy here and then slowly start to break away as they target still the VA high and 325. IWM. Picture on the daily chart. We did have a strong day yesterday. I think I was actually a little surprised at how strong it was. Probably as surprised as how weak it was on Tuesday, or sorry, Monday. But the structure here is still yet to be seen to the bullish side. You know, the lean in the daily chart is still relatively bearish. We're sitting under the 20 and the 50. And what we want to see them do is on that breakout, if they were to clear some of these daily resistance zones, that could lead to sort of a false breakdown. And anyone who got short looking just at the daily chart may have to cover. So that would be an opportunity not only to get above resistance, but also to kind of force a little bit of short covering in this product. What we can see here is that they're also consolidating and they're getting tighter and tighter on the range. You know, price action here has gotten less volatile, but they do want to clear this downtrend resistance in order to maybe target some of these upper prices, maybe closer to 225 all the way to 227. You know, the range here, it's pretty large. We have 208 all the way up to 220. And typical range rules is that if you can clear a range, you have potential to double the range in the direction of the breakout. So when you form this pennant structure, you're kind of building that energy. And depending on which way we break out, I think there's potential to double what is essentially about a $15 range in this product. And that would take place over the course of a couple of sessions. Obviously, there are certain things we'd want to see across the board for that to happen. IWM being composed of some different products than SPY and QQQ, but there is some potential here, especially if all other products are bullish. The IWM can kind of shine once again as maybe the leader in that bullish, all index bullish scenario. And then just looking to see if we have any opportunity based on value. Our value shelf is at that 220. This is likely why it's taking a little bit of time to get through it. Sitting below value, obviously for a bullish scenario, you want to get above and then back test it, just like any other support level or resistance level. So structurally, I would say this has that sort of bearish lean to it, but there is potential here as we consolidate, and basically as long as we're not losing this very short-term uptrend line based on some of the lows that we put in over previous sessions. So we'll see how tight this needs to get before a breakout. We're sitting between, you know, VA low and VPOC, but we do have, you know, this kind of curl that's occurring pre-market that may lead to a breakout. So I would say across the board, a lot of our products are opening relatively flat this morning. Natural gas I see is up slightly, and that's mostly an opportunity for the energy sector. But with crude opening up relatively flat, I think you'd want to see something a little bit more convincing in crude being the majority of the market that we want to target. Let me see if I can bring this down. Not really seeing a ton in crude. Definitely want to kind of get off of this 60 level and maybe give us more clarity. But we're seeing things like the metals market continue to sell on a rising dollar. So gold and silver pulling down back into support zones. We're seeing bonds open relatively flat. ZB and ZN both kind of sitting at their lows. TLT putting in a little bit of chop, some up days, some down days. And the yield is kind of holding at these relative highs, although we did see them pull back slightly on the session. So dollar index, we still want to keep this on watch. The strength in the dollar is a concern. The fact that we've broken through some daily resistance is another concern. We do not want to see this continue in the medium term. I think a pullback here could easily lead equity prices to that bullish breakout scenario that we're postulating. And ultimately, the dollar can kind of stay in this zone for a while. As long as it's not correlating to weakness in equity prices, then we can kind of mark this as a potential risk. But if it's consolidating, the neutrality of it will lead us to trade as normal, both bullish and bearish, depending on which directionality it chooses. So some sectors that are on watch. I think with what we're seeing in the queues, I'm definitely keeping an eye on technology today. Technology is putting in more and more consolidation. We're tightening up on the range. I've drawn out a very rough pennant at this point. I think this is fair given this recent low. And what we're seeing is that technology is likely to make a big move in the next couple of sessions. Often prices cannot get too wound up without some sort of trend forming, and that's going to be our breakup or a breakdown. Right now, the pennant is relatively neutral, but we are seeing some support being built in the queues, and if that can lead to that bullish breakout, we would obviously tech breakout as well. That needs to be facilitated by stocks like Apple. Apple is gapping up this morning, and it's actually holding above a downtrend, a short-term downtrend, also kind of a pennant structure. And that is, once again, another bullish case. Can we see Apple gain some momentum today? Microsoft, pull it back to the daily, holding the support area, hasn't really gone anywhere as of late, very trapped inside of a very tight range, but once again, starting to just bounce around in this area. Really want to see this thing get off the ground. And whether or not we have any momentum today will kind of, yet to be seen. Obviously, you don't want to lose this area on a breakdown. That would put pressure on the tech sector. And obviously, the opposite thesis would kind of take effect at that point. Let's see, some other names. Tesla from yesterday. This is going to be consumer discretionaries, putting in a very strong push. Pretty good volume overall. We're starting to see 600 just be a general interest zone for Tesla amidst the large sell-off that it has had. We're starting to put a lot more value into the 600 range, and we saw the potential for a breakout. Once again, same idea. We're drawing these very short-term downtrend lines, and then we're seeing prices push away from a support zone on strength. So, the overall posture here is relatively good for Tesla to the upside. And we probably want to see that also take place in Amazon, which once again has been kind of a laggard. It's relatively neutral, very range bound. Consumer discretionaries, we want to see that pick up either through Tesla's bullishness or with Amazon also taking effect. So we saw a little push here on consumer discretionaries. Nothing really to write home about yet, but it is the start of something potentially bigger. Industrials continue to be very strong, sitting right at all-time highs. We could pull this out here. You can see that the trend is, without a doubt, very bullish. We're seeing every pullback being bought, and that's leading to new highs off of higher lows. We also have the infrastructure catalyst that's starting to circulate. I think there's a bullish case in a lot of materials and certain construction-based stocks and ETFs that is really starting to show up in this market. So for industrials, we have things like Caterpillar, even just some of the overall airliners are starting to wake back up. So Boeing, not really a strong push there, but definitely DAL putting in a strong day, UAL, and AAL. All of them looking relatively similar, pushing off of these 20 moving averages, putting in a strong day yesterday. And then obviously Caterpillar pushing really strong, pretty much at all-time highs, a little extended overall, but you can see how difficult it is to fight this trend whenever it's this strong. The daily trend is holding at this point. We're also seeing, and I keep bringing this up, Home Depot and Lowe's, very strong stocks overall. This is going to be in your home builder sector, and also I think a component of where is it? It's in discretionaries. Sorry. So Home Depot is almost as big as Tesla as far as discretionaries, but Lowe's as well, putting in about 4%. So some bullish cases across the board there. We kind of just want to see Amazon wake up. It's been, neutral for a long time. It would be nice to see every part of this sector wake up as Tesla has. And I think overall, just kind of staying focused on the IWM. Some of the sectors here are going to be your financials, and you can look at the XLF for that. The banks in the XLF are not necessarily ones that comprise the IWM. I think you want to maybe look at some smaller banks, and I think the KRE would be a better choice for some of that analysis. They did see that pullback along with the rest of the financials, but they are generally holding this area. So as long as XLF stays strong, I kind of bundle that with KRE, and that could be, the IWM financial overview. But another case to IWM is going to be biotech. And we've seen weakness in biotech for probably the past couple of weeks. There's a pretty major sell-off from all-time highs. What we're doing right now is sitting right at the 200 moving average on the daily. And the case for biotech is going to be somewhat correlated to a strong technology sector and a strong healthcare sector. So the fact that healthcare has been decently strong, if we look at XLV, we've actually pushed through this range and we're starting to pull back slightly. But, the overall recovery here has been great. This is forming a inverse head and shoulder structure where obviously this is going to be our neckline right around here. The healthcare structure looks great from the bullish perspective. We're also sitting right at all-time highs. But I think some of the weakness in the technology sector has affected biotech. So with this potential breakout in technology, obviously the opportunities are present for a lot of really correlated names. But another area that you might be interested in would be biotech. Because if you have healthcare strong and tech strong, biotech could offer really good risk to reward, along with the fact that it's sitting at some potential support on the daily. So whether you use the IWM to trade it, and that would be just a general Russell 1000, 2000 ETF, that's going to have some financial names and some other diversification within it, or whether you use biotech itself, these would be ways to get away from the general tech sector if you're still finding it a little bit congested. And if you're not used to trading healthcare, or if you don't want to trade healthcare directly, biotech can offer a higher beta and maybe a little bit more volatility if that's what you're interested in. I just wanted to bring up a few things with the steel sector, or the steel industry. Stocks like X have been making really strong pushes off of their bounce lows. And I mean, you can kind of go through like an overall industry overview. But if you look at steel stocks in general, and I'll just kind of pick out the ones that I'm familiar with. New A, let me do just a weekly overview. Super strong. Once again, everything's extended at this point, so you don't necessarily want to be jumping in willy-nilly, I would say, but it's something to keep on watch. New A has been strong. STLD, Steel Dynamics, very strong. We just looked at X. Ternium, very strong. To some degree, ArcelorMittal, very strong. And I think I'm somewhat familiar with Vale. Probably not a name that you, it's not a household name, but it is something that may be consolidating for a breakout. So the steel industry overall is putting in some great opportunity. We want to see, is this the start of something much bigger, in the sense that, yes, we're strong from this perspective, but this may be the beginning of something like this, where we could have a multi-year sort of cycle in the steel sector, steel industry. And this could be, from an investing standpoint, an opportunity for you to start accumulating positions that are undervalued and ride some of this momentum if we're going to have, a presidential term that coincides with multiple building efforts. So always be thinking, both from the trading perspective, we're seeing volume, we're seeing momentum, but then take a step back and say, can I be looking at this for longer term plays? And obviously the risk to reward here is still rather attractive if you believe the thesis that's going on at this point. So with that said, that's pretty much all I had for today. I think I'm really just watching tech. Apple, that gap up has got me really excited. I'm hoping that we kind of continue the momentum. I want to see the Qs break out. And then with everything else holding or being strong, the thesis right now is that SPY has a lot of momentum and energy built into it. Can we get that breakout across the board? And if it's an all sector push, if everything's getting bought today, then obviously that can lead to a really great trend day. We could break through the all-time highs and, et cetera, et cetera. If not, then we want to see, once again, more sector rotation, a little bit of back and forth, some battles being conducted. And if we just roll over today, are they going to sell everything? Or is it just tech? Is it just tech being, once again, a little bit trapped in its range? So with that said, my name is Jared. This has been Engineering the Markets. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Carlos and Norm. Y'all take it easy today and trade safe. Keep an eye on some of those sectors, giving us really good risk to reward opportunity. And obviously take advantage if the advantage is there. So thanks, everyone. Talk to y'all later.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. I hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Before we jump in,
Yes,
everybody hit that like for Jared.
yes,
He deserves
absolutely,
it.
guys.
Kicking
Yeah.
butt every single morning, waking up early, getting us started. So thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, and actually, I've been getting a lot of benefit from it myself. I mean, I wake up,
Oh, it's
uh, put
great.
on put on Jared on in the mornings and during the markets, and then we have to do the flip from being listeners to actually doing this show, which is,
Yep.
you start taking in all this information. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta get on now, So you kind of get lost in all the great information he's giving there. So excellent job. Guys, let's see what we had yesterday. CAN was amazing. I mean, this stock for me, at least personally, has been really, really good to trade the last couple of days. Let's take a look at their action here. Pre-market, very, very clean pre-market action, as you can see right on here, guys. It's beautiful, great volume. And again, it's been trading very well. Here we had a little bit of a chop at the open right out of the gates, sold off, sold up, kind of engulfing every single candle. Beautiful breakout above the VWAP. And I was talking about this in chat with some members. They took this entry around here. I didn't. I waited for the consolidation and took it around in this area here, 1894 or so. And you have to be patient, right? It did test your entry a little bit, but eventually you did get to this 1946 level that we had. And just look at the beautiful breakout. I mean, just insane. So CN has been really nice throughout the entire day, throughout the mid morning, really. This area here was very, very clean. From there, it does get very choppy into the end of the market day there. VIPS, again, a very, very rough start. I mean, I really thought this thing was going to break out of 30, 40 on this shot here. If you scalped it, it was very quick. You could have got a 30 cents pop here. Again, that's not an easy strategy to do, guys. You got to build that discipline, build that speed. That does take time. So it does then settle down. You get this next breakout, which again is hard to trust after what has happened the last 15 minutes here, right? It's not an easy trade to take. Eventually, you can see the beautiful breakout here. It does give you a pullback. Again, it looks nice now in paper, guys, but the actual price action was really all over the place. Again, it was just not easy to trade VIPS. Same thing with TME is another one that was very choppy at times. Does give you a beautiful engulfing pattern here. But again, another stock that is very difficult to trust is price action. But if you did here, you definitely got a great entry for a reversal here on this engulfing pattern. And look how beautiful this thing trades up. Then it gets choppy from there on. Later down at 1 o'clock, does settle down. And look at this beautiful sell-off back towards the lows of the day there. Go EV was actually very clean. I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to this one. Try to break out before the pre-market, before the market opened here, over to 980. Was not able to. And then just look at the slam down here. Beautiful open range breakdown on the 5 minute, a beautiful continuation, just great down, a short action here towards the downside. V reversal right on here, not an easy trade to take. I got a little bit of an engulfing pattern. Again, it's not easy to take. It goes back up to the VWAP, finds support, and then continues on here. So again, Go EV, pretty beautiful market open, great activity in the pre-market. It was selling down nicely here, and it did continue into the market open yesterday. Choppiness in the midday and also in the afternoon, so not much you can trade here. I was looking for a possible reversal in this area. Reverse back over to the 962, 967, but it just never came there at all. Here was Disca. This was just a complete mess. Again, I didn't pay much attention to it, but you can see here the first few minutes I saw on this were very choppy, so I completely avoided after that. So again, very tough to trade this one here. GSX, as we thought it would be. Again, it has great news, it has a great daily. It's been oversold, but we know this stock can be very choppy, and it was that just yesterday. Again, just very difficult to take a trade on here, as you can see the chart patterns here on the 5 minutes. So that is what we had yesterday, guys. We knew it was going to be a tough day watching some of these stocks, and we knew we were going to get a not the cleanest type plays, and we saw that yesterday for sure. Let's get a quick recap of the overall SPY this morning. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, Jared's been through a lot of it. To me, things have been very choppy. There are always, you can always find trades, but I think you've got a lesser chance of things following through as you anticipate, is kind of what I've been dealing with. So I've lowered how many trades I'm taking. I've lowered my size, and even just sitting out some days. I mean, if you look at SPY on a weekly and a daily right now, weekly specifically, it reminds me of some of the beautiful Roku breakouts we
Oh yeah.
had in the past. So we're
Yes.
we're bumping up against that 400 there. and can't seem to get above it right now. But at the same time, it looks like we're just kind of coiling up a spring ready to launch through it when it does.
Yeah.
So, that having been said, we, as far as the calendar, we had ADP employment come out at 8:15. It was roughly in line with expectations. I didn't see much of a change on anything from that. And then Chicago PMIs at 9:45, pending home sales 10 a.m. And don't forget the market's closed on Friday. So, I'm going to take it pretty easy today and tomorrow. I don't think we're going to have anything too crazy happen before the weekend. I could be wrong if I'm in here watching, working on some stuff, and I, see something, see that changing before next week. Well, then maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I hop back in. But for now, I'm just kind of sitting by and learn to not trade super heavily these times when we're just in consolidation without a clear direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes perfect sense, guys. And again, we're starting to see that this week. We saw it yesterday. We saw it the day before. It has not been the best possible type trading day. So let's get in here, guys. Let's look at let's get rid of our watch list, and we will start fresh on today's gappers list, which again we have a ton this morning over on the green side. A lot of stuff gapping up pretty nicely there. Not so much on the gapping downside today. So let's take a look here. TAOP, low flow stocks, the first two. This one is a 5.5 million shares flow at the moment. They're getting pretty active here. So definitely want to keep an eye on this one, guys, as a low flow at 5.5. The volume is great, up about 40% right now, 1.7 million shares traded. We can definitely add that down here to our risky pile, definitely in play today. So we'll take a closer look at that one. PRPH, another low flow sitting at 12 million right on here. This one not looking so good. It does have good volume, 2.3 million, up 27%, but that's not trading very well this morning. If you look at this 5-minute chart, it's kind of very choppy, very wicky here. So nothing like this one here. This one looks a lot better. You can see it has a lot less volume, way less, probably half of what it what our PRPH does. But look how clean this is trading, at least at the moment, right? So this is what you want to see. You want to see that very nice clean price action. You're not getting that from PRPH, so we're going to skip on that for now. Let's look at Surf, 33 million, so not a low flow stock. This one doesn't look good at all. Their daily seems very choppy. You can tell on here as well. They don't get a whole lot of volume. Today, their pre-market action is really choppy as well, kind of all over the place at the moment, up 13%. But again, I'm just not liking what I'm seeing here unless there's any kind of catalyst that can make this daily a little more interesting. I don't see anything.
They got an orphan drug designation on a pancreatic cancer treatment last night. So that's what's moving it. But
all right, well, we'll put as a possible. Take a
it
second
needs
look at
better.
it.
It needs better volume and order
Yeah.
flow from it.
Yep, absolutely. It does need to get better as far as that. We'll put it on here just so we can take a quick look at it later to see if that's gotten any better. CHWI, this is up nicely, 14% this morning, 366,000 shares traded. They must have some news because this stock doesn't move like that. And on top of that, they're a very, very difficult stock to day trade. We've seen this one before in the past. They could be very whippy,
They had
very
earnings.
Spready at times. Earnings on this one?
They had earnings last night and smoked it. So
nice. We're gonna put it on the list, guys, as a main one this morning.
But
again,
as you said, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
It's it jumps around a bit. I just lost your screen and your Carlos.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Are you still in the chat? You're not. You're gone.
I'm still.
You're no longer connected in the chat.
I'm not connected. All right, let's try that again. Let's see here. On YouTube, are we okay if we get a thumbs up? And over on trading view as well, if we get a thumbs up, make sure we're good there. All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna just reset our chat room here, make sure you guys are good. Or did someone reset the audio maybe? That's probably what it was, because I'm getting some kind of circles here. All right, let's get our chat room back.
Yeah, you're still on YouTube, brother.
Okay, perfect. So YouTube is good. Let's see what's going on with our chat room here. Okay, here we go. All right, we're just getting some circles. Let's try to refresh one more time. So just a little bit of a of a second here while we figure this out in our chat room and get this rolling. So thank you guys over on YouTube and TradingView for your patience. All right, here we go. So let's share our screen into our chat. All right, there's the screen. Very nice. And here should be the mic. Let's get the audio up and running. Okay, excellent. I think we have you guys back. I think something must have reset it, everything, and kicked me off. So looks like we're back. Can you guys hear us okay in the chat?
Yeah, you're good.
Excellent. Perfect. All right, let's rock and roll. So guys, CHWY, very good pop here. But again, it's just not the best trading stock. We'll still put it on here. Today could be a difference maker with the earnings in play. The spread is actually pretty good in the pre-market right now. It's usually not that great. Oh, it got a little worse there. But it was about 10 cents, 5 cents.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Yeah, another 15 cents there. So let's see if that gets better. All right, heading on down, we have a BWEN this morning. They are, what do we have here? BWEN, there we go. Now it's loaded. A big day yesterday, nice little pop on here. Pre-market action doesn't look great, guys. This stock typically doesn't get great volume. You can tell on the daily here, very light. So I'm gonna skip on this one for now. 15 million shares float. So it is also a low flow stock that's not looking very well this morning. CHPT, this one here up 7.5 this morning, 158,000. Just the volume is not there. Their daily's a little funky. You could tell here some of these days here looks like a gap. Look at this gap up and then just selling down every single day. So it's gapping up and just selling down. So this is not a great daily chart. I do like what they're doing here. They're kind of getting a little bit of a bounce of this 10, 20, 60 area. So the green day yesterday, possible continuation today, but nothing else looks good on this at the moment. So I'm going to skip on it for now. We'll do a few more. Then we'll see what's gapping down today. CLF, this one is up 6%, 317. Can't just brutal pre-market action. Dailies,
this is not a good day trading stock, by the way.
Yeah, it's not. What stock is this, by the way?
Cleveland Cliffs.
Oh, okay. So that's a trade well. Yeah. So let's avoid that one. We got some good ones coming up here though. Fuel cell, I know is one that's been very active. This is actually looks pretty good. Up 5.7, 321,000 shares traded. I love the daily too, guys. Possible continuation of this bounce. We're getting off 13 here. Let's keep an eye on that. And now we know this one pretty well since we've been watching it closely. Not the last couple of days, but we know it can trade very clean. So I like what I'm seeing here today. They got some good pre-market action and volume this morning. Here's Plug. Now Plug, I know they have news because the news is about something they're doing in New York as far as an energy plant or something like that. So they're up 5.4 today, 446. Also getting a nice little bounce after being beat up pretty nicely the entirety of this year, the beginning of this year. So let's put Plug on there. And we know they can put in some really good days. They're up 5.3. Love to see what's going on there. Workhorse. We have not seen Workhorse in our gappers list in some time. At least we haven't looked at it. And there's the reason why. It just hasn't been doing anything. So right now, they're up 4.3, but their pre-market action is pretty crappy right now. You got one big order that's really pushing them into our gappers list, which is this one here at 50,000 shares, which is not doing a whole lot. So this is not really in play. We'll skip on this. Fubo, another one we haven't seen it in some time. Again, a lot of stocks, guys, are beat up, and Jared has been talking about this, right? A lot of stocks are beat up, so they're getting a little bit of a breathing room here towards the upside, but this is really not in play. If you look at this closely, that doesn't look pretty good there. All right, I'm going to stop here in the gapping up list. There's a whole bunch on here that we can go through, but we'll stop here. Let's look at what's gapping down. DCTH this morning down 38%, almost 40, 2.3 million shares traded here. So definitely some bad news happening on this one. Their daily is horrible, but this drop, I do like what I'm seeing there as far as that huge drop this morning. Any news on this one, Norm? DCTH, oh, it's a low flow stock though. Okay, hold on a sec. So they had
earnings this morning. I haven't looked into it.
All right, it is a low flow stock.
Apparently, they were not well liked.
Yeah, the market did not like whatever they had to share in their earnings report there. DCTH, it is a 5.2 million shares float, guys, and they do have shares for sure. It was halted for news. Looks like you can see here you got the T. I'm assuming it was halted for news because you don't get a volatility halt during the pre-market or after hours. So we're going to put it on here. But again, just be very careful, guys. These things can squeeze out of nowhere. I know right now it looks very weak. There could be a lot of short bias in this stock. Just be very careful on these stocks that are are low flows like this one, 5.2, especially if you're looking to short. VTSI not looking good. You could tell very choppy, horrible daily. We'll skip on that one. Also a lower flow stock at 7.3. This one here, RMO, doesn't look good neither, guys. A nice drop at down 15% this morning. Pre-market action is just so choppy. Even with this great volume, 487, you would think you would get a better pre-market action. You are not seeing that, and that could be given to their daily. We get the question a lot, what is a good daily? This is not it. Look at the way these candles are being formed, right? They're just not good at all. Here from the 8th to the 11th, 12th, this looks a little bit better. More wide body candles in there. That looks good. But then here, nothing else looks great on this. So again,
the last 40 minutes or so since about 7 o'clock on the 5-minute chart looks abysmal, man.
Oh, it's just horrible.
I don't have an M pattern strategy.
Oh my God! So let's skip on that one because my algo
like,
computer's not.
Call it the
today.
Golden Arches Chop Fest. That's the
my
strategy
God.
on that.
HGEN, guys, this one has been very active. Got a great pop on this was 2 days ago, and then yesterday I didn't watch it pretty closely yesterday on what it did. But just be careful. We know this thing can be very aggressive. The moves are wild. It's not a low flow stock. It's a 42.5. Today's not so bad though. Today the pre-market action looks okay. 770. Down 12%, which I do like. I'm a little bit short biased on the way this thing looks because again, it just doesn't make any sense on this pop here. But again, it's looking good so far. I think we might be able to add this one today. But again, just be very, very careful. Especially on a day like this one here, the moves were insane. This thing was popping up easily $1.50, $2 like nothing. So you want to be very careful if you're caught in the wrong side of a trade on this one. PRQR, not looking good. We'll skip on that. And the reason, just look at the pre-market action. Nothing great there. Their daily's wacky. This is horrible. Let's look at BB. What do we have here? BB. No, this is really not in play. I don't see anything.
They had earnings.
They did. Oh, okay. So yeah, it could be interesting. Earnings last night. Oh yeah, I see the drop here. They just don't trade very well. But we've seen stocks that don't trade very well.
I agree.
Like
they had that meme stock trading period in late
Mm-hmm.
January, kind of traded okay, but since then and for years prior to that, and then since about the beginning of February, it hasn't been great. So
yeah, it has not been good at all there. So we'll throw it on here just to see what happens, but I don't have a lot of hopes on that one. HOFV, this one, I know we've been watching this one closely. Had a couple of great days here. Be very careful. This is one of those NFT stocks. I don't think they're really in play today. Their daily's just winding up to a point here about around 550. But I don't think they looked all that good this morning. If that changes, I'm sure somebody can point that out. But again, NFTs type stock here. Be very careful with this one. All right, well, that is what we have. Norm, anything you like this morning? I know the pickings are slim.
I've got a few for you though. Let's see here. Yeah. So a lot of these are names that are moving, and somebody pointed it out. Jeremy did, I think, in the chat. A lot of these are moving. President Biden's going to unveil his $3 trillion infrastructure package that he's trying to get pushed through Congress. That's supposed to be unveiled today, part 1 of 2. Mm-hmm. A lot of these are moving on that kind of stuff. The green energy plays, the Cleveland Cliffs industrial stuff. Yeah. So a lot of that's moving on that. We'll see how they play out. Mm-hmm. I like Apple. Apple, and I was mentioning this earlier in the chat, Apple has not been a great trading stock. It used to be, and it goes through. I'm not saying there haven't been periods, especially if you go back there toward January, but it has not been a great trading stock for at least the last month and a half. And in reality, it hasn't done squat since it split at the end of last summer. So
it's definitely changed a lot since then.
It's changed a lot. You had kind of that energy around it then, and now it's just died off. This chop since the beginning of March is pretty nasty. But it got an upgrade. It could be in AAL and Boeing, BA. I mean, you could really just throw a dart in the airlines and pick one to trade, but AAL and probably UAL are the better ones. That air travel is kicking back in, and demand is starting to really pick up on that with COVID winding down and vaccinations. And then Boeing, of course, plays in that too. So
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely like American Airlines. I like the way that's been trading lately. UAL is nice, I agree, and I have Boeing down here as well. So it's funny, all their dailies look really good, right? For a possible breakout
Hmm.
here. Look at American Airlines, look at United, and BA as well. It's a very similar daily, as they're all in the same type of field, right? Travel sector. So we'll see, except for BA. But yeah, I like those as well to watch this morning. All right, guys, let's get to our chat room here, or in our room. Let's see what we have. We'll start with, let's scroll up here. Looks like Fabio, you have American Airlines, Neo. We already have American. Let's look at Neo this morning. Neo's getting a nice little pop here. Beautiful support happening here at 34.71, guys. Let's look at the support that's getting there on the daily. Had a great day yesterday. Yeah, Neo looks good. The volume is there. Pre-market looks nice, getting a little bit of a pop here. Hopefully it doesn't get too extended for us this morning. But yeah, I like the way Neo is setting up today. Let's keep an eye on this one. Again, another one of these stocks that has been really beat down pretty badly here. So we'll see what's happening there. So Neo's on deck. FUTU. No, I'm not seeing anything great. Again, I don't know why I pull this stock up every time, Norm. I never liked it.
They just wanted you to say it to me.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll skip on this. It's just, guys, the risk management, the intraday trading, the volume, even at times the spread. It's just, again, you could find better stuff to trade. I guarantee you. Okay. So I'm not gonna put on this one on my list. Neo, we have TME. TME and VIPS. Again, these sectors pretty beat up. Obviously, Viacom is in that as well. Right now, I'm not seeing anything great. And again, after these drops that we got here, they haven't been trading well. They've been very, very choppy. I don't think I want to spend my time looking at these today unless I see something very good popping up in the scanners, or unless you guys call something out very clean. So I'm not going to waste time on these today. Viacom, not doing a whole lot. Again, I'm just going to skip them for today, guys, especially if the market is going to be choppy. You want to be very careful. DP via Viacom is going to take off. Yeah, I agree. I believe these companies will come back. When is the key, right? When is that going to happen? And are you going to is it going to come back on a good intraday play? Meaning, is it going to be clean action that we can take advantage of? Now, if you're looking for a swing trade, longer term investments, that's a whole different story.
Viacom's not a good day trading stock to begin with.
It's not a good day trading
stock. I mean, look,
right?
It's a nice swing trade.
Yeah.
As long as you got out of it before the disaster. But, it had, that's one of those. Viacom trades poorly. And even in the downtrend, I mean, unless you caught it early on, you'd think it was extended and be scared to get into it, even though you were only a quarter of the way through the drop. Yeah. But, it doesn't day trade well. This isn't something that's going to be, I don't personally think, that interesting to watch once this event is over. Yeah, but we'll see. Man, I proved me wrong.
No, again, we've been wrong plenty of times.
Before last week, how many times have we ever discussed Viacom or put it on our list in the last 2+ years we've been doing this show together?
Yeah, we exactly. We don't watch it. It just doesn't trade very well. And we saw that a couple of times. We took a trade. I took that trade with Andrew, right? We both got in long at that breakout. It popped up quickly. We took a quick partial. I'm so glad we got out at the break-even point, because from there it just flushed, and it was just like, it doesn't trade well. So yeah, skip on that one. All right, so Tesla, yeah, I'm sure Tesla's going to be getting a little bit of a bounce today. Neo's getting a bounce today. Tesla's got some volume too. They're up 2%. I'm going to keep my eyes on Neo, but Tesla is a very good one this morning to watch as well. So keep an eye on that one if you do like that one. That is good. Lulu here. This is another one that, again, I find this one difficult to trade. I've seen Brian doing amazing trades on this one in the past, but I for me, it doesn't trade all that clean. Volume is very light right now. So I'm going to skip.
It's another one for now. Trade decently, and it just hasn't.
Yeah, it's been
much recently.
Yeah.
They had news. They had earnings.
They did. Okay. All right.
They had earnings, but that's a terrible pre-market chart.
Yeah, it's not looking great there at all. Mara this morning, we traded this one before in the past. What's going on with them? They're up. Well, they were down quite a bit here. They're pretty much flat at the moment after bouncing back in the pre-market, going into the green. 439,000. I do like this. I know this is a horrible daily here, very choppy, but I like what they're sitting at here against this area of support, resistance, for a possible breakout. So that could be interesting after a big day yesterday. We'll put this as a possible for now. We'll definitely come back to it. All right, here we go. What else do we have? Apple, we looked at, that's on deck. JMIA is another one that is not all that great. They're getting a little bit of a bounce here, but there's other stocks that have the same similar bounce, like a Neo. Apple looks good for a possible breakout today. Plug is good as well, right? So I'd rather watch that one than JMIA. They tend to be a little choppy at times. We'll do one more here, and then we'll look over on YouTube, see what our friends have there. PLTR, what's going on there? POTR, yeah, getting a little bit of a bounce here as well. Again, a lot of stocks have been beat down are finding some kind of support. Buyer stepping in here. They are up 1.7, 738. But for PLTR, I want to see something amazing. Like this doesn't call my attention. Especially we know, guys, how choppy this stock can be.
Yeah, it can be very difficult.
It can be difficult to trade. I'd rather watch something else that has a similar pattern like a Neo, which looks amazing in the pre-market today, even with lighter volume than usual. And I say that because we know Neo puts in 3 million shares like it's nothing, right? So, but looking very, very good there today. All right, let's take there's a lot to go through today, guys. As you can see, we're not going to get to everything here. Let's look over on a few on YouTube in case we haven't missed something. Workhorse, we did look at that one. What's wrong with Workhorse? What didn't we like about it? I think it was the daily, right? Workhorse. It doesn't even want to come up for me. Workhorse, because I have it typed wrong. There we go. Workhorse. Oh yeah, the pre-market action is no good. Neo, we have FedEx. FedEx is in play today. No, that's not in play today. Is that a ticker? What is that? I'm sorry, IEA. No volume, guys. So again, it's popping up 5%, but the volume is not there. I saw SQ on both chats, so we'll look at that one
It's
as
an
well.
ETF, I believe.
Oh, it's an ETF.
So
oh, okay.
It'll probably have volume during the day. It just doesn't now. If ETFs are your deal, go for it.
Yeah.
We just usually don't put them on our watch list.
Yeah, but we'll talk about them throughout the trading day in the chat room. So if something comes up, a sector is moving one way or the other, we'll look at it. But for the most part, it doesn't make our main list here for the watch list. SQ had an upgrade, so that's good. They're getting a little bit of a bounce this morning, 2%, 82,000 shares traded. You can add this one on here. SQ could be explosive, not doing a whole lot right now, but it has again been beat down a little bit here, finding support on 202. So let's see where that goes there. So we'll look at SQ. Let's take a look at MU. They have earnings. When does MU have earnings? You know, and MU, even with their earnings, so it will be today after market, post-market earnings today. They're not doing a whole lot. They've been very, very choppy. Say again?
Let's talk about it tomorrow then.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow, see how that plays out. But right now, it's not looking too good. Snap is not doing much. Snap right now. Oh, let's get our chart down here to agree. There we go. So Snap, yeah, volume is very light. We know Snap. We want that volume in the thousands by now. We're not having that. So they have a new product out. Hopefully that can do something, but for the most part, not looking too good. TAOP, we have TAOP, excuse me. We have Chewy as well as CHWY that's on there. Tesla's looking good, guys. If you like trading down, we'll keep it on deck. I have Neo, RMO. That wasn't looking great. CCIV. We're coming up at 9 o'clock, so we'll do just a few more. CCIV, you're getting some volume, a little bit of a bounce as well. Not as significant as some of these other ones that we're getting on here, like Neo, right? That looks great. American Airlines Daily looks nice here. Doesn't have the volume right now, but that looks good for potential. Fuel Cell looks good for a bounce. You're getting more volume. So again, I think CCIV could be a good possible, but I have some good ones in here already for me. So I'm going to stick with those for now. All right, guys, let's get over to our community event, and we'll come back and fine-tune this list.
All right, guys. Mike's webinar is posted from yesterday. Sorry, I couldn't remember what day of the week it was. I believe it's posted from yesterday. And then next week, we will have Luke Jacoby talking about what news matters and what doesn't. He's from Benzinga. Should be a very interesting conversation. Will be at 8 the normal time, 8 p.m. Tuesday. And then tonight, 8 p.m., you've got Mike doing his Module 1, Defining Yourself as a Trader. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day, mark it up, and post it on Twitter. Should have entries, exits, of course, and then any commentary you can put on there to describe the trade. Post on Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders at MikeB_BBT and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll pick a winner for each day that will be announced in the closing bell sheet on Twitter. And then the trade of the week will be selected from all the trades of the day that week and voted for by the team over the weekend, announced on Monday. If you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you'd like to give it a try, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount off the intro membership, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a market holiday like there is this Friday. Also gives you access to the onboarding class, technology classes that are live every Monday night.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Norm. All right, let's take a look at what we have here, guys. We were just talking about Mara here in our chat room. Somebody pointed out that it should be in our main list. And Amit, I agree with you. This looks very good today. Pre-market action looks nice in the daily. Again, possible breakout here. This can run nicely if it can get going, if it can get the volume there. So, all right, let's do a quick recap on our main list. We have SHWY. Again, this could be difficult to trade, so I might move this down to our secondary list down here. Fuel cell is good, guys. Getting a nice little pop here. Look at the bounce off the VWAP. Here at this pre-market ad is beautiful there. Here is Plug. Plug is looking good as well. Again, a lot of these companies are trending nicely today. This was definitely be on the bottom of the list. This HGEN. I mean, it looks good, but I know it can be difficult to trade. So let's move this down. We'll delete that there. Plug is good. Apple is good. That'll be the tech company I watched today. One of the tech companies I watched today. American Airlines. American Airlines could be probably more of a possible. We need to get going here, but I do like their daily. I do like the fact that airlines are starting to do well. These travel companies. How about CCL? They're doing good here. They're daily, very similar to American Airlines as well. Again, a lot of the travel companies got the same daily going on here. So I like what's happening here. Possible breakout. CCL could be another one you could watch there. The volume is a little bit light, so we just need that volume to rush in there. And then Mara, we'll move Mara up because I do like the pre-market action this morning. Okay, here we go. Neo is good, getting a little bit of a bounce. Funny, interesting support you're getting at 34.71. Every day has gapped down, but has ended green out of this 4-day stretch here. So very nice. Let's see if we can get a good continuation here. Great volume right now as well. And then we talked about Mara already. Love what's happening here on the daily for a possible breakout. Big day yesterday. Let's see if they got the legs to get going up to that 46, 48 as far as we go as levels. And then in our possible area, we have American Airlines. We have Surf, which is not looking good. I'm going to just remove it, reduce our footprint here on our secondary list. A BB, just that's not good. Just get rid of that. United is a good possible. Again, not much going on right now, but we know this sector can get going pretty fast. BA as well. SQ has news. Somebody mentioned or an upgrade. Got an upgrade. We'll see how that develops. And then HGN is a possible. Let's see where that's going to go today. So will be interesting. Couple of days. Nice huge pop, and it's just kind of settling down now. Is it looking to close this gap? Right, it's below the top of this gap here, below that. So it's looking to head back down towards that 15, 16 price targets that they have. So let's check that out. See what happens there. All right, guys. Let's do levels off their daily here in the pre-market highs on CHWY. We do have 93.97. We'll call that 97. Again, nice pre-market high there for the most part. Pre-market low sitting all the way down over at 87.93. So we'll throw that there. Look at the gray area support you're getting here, resistance, excuse me, you're getting here on that pre-market low there. So again, obviously a very interesting level for this stock. You saw some support here going back into the end of the year last year as well. So again, that's definitely interesting for them. And as far heading towards the bottom, you do have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days after a nice consolidation here between 76 and 80. Again, this is typically not a great trading stock. Their pre-market action though, for how they trade, is not that bad. So hopefully today they can give us some good action. I'm gonna mark down this 84.15 level. You can see plenty of days opening up and closing right around this area, 84.15. So we're going to throw a level there also. Now towards the top, above the pre-market high, let's find some levels here on this daily, which is not the best, but we do have a nice level here, 98.88. So great area of support and resistance right on this. So we'll throw a level there. And then if we go above that, it gets messy here. So it's going to be tough to find very clean levels like this one here. This is a very, very clean level, right? You can tell the support that's happening there. This one here, 87.93, very clean level, great area of support, nice change in direction. When you see that, you know that support means something to this stock, right? Up here, you have another one. We're going to mark this one down, 105.65. Again, you got a lot of touches going on here on this area. We'll see what happens there. Again, that's a far way out, but this stock can definitely move. Look how the drops on some of these days are, easily rushing through $3, $5 drops with no problem. So this stock can definitely move if it can get going towards the top side. Here's fuel cell right now. So F cell at the moment, high of the pre-market at a 13.94. We'll throw a level there on our pre-market high. Look how clean that level is too. A lot of touches on there as well. A lot of days opening and closing on that level. Look at the bounce off of that. So great support happening there. Towards the top above this, we do have 1542. That's a good one too, because you have this consolidation back and forth ping pong action here, just banging their heads between 1392, which is your pre-market high at the moment, and this 1542. So if we could get squeezed through this, that'd be nice to hopefully get to that 1542 there. Again, that won't be easy, especially with how choppy this market is. We're just not getting that great continuation. Just be mindful of that we have our levels are good, but the market just might not be great to get to some of these levels we have here. 1693, guys, another great level here as well off the daily. Well, we'll throw that on there. Now, towards the bottom, I'm not going to add anything. You have great support down here already. Previous day close and highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. That's got you covered there. Let's take a look at plug this morning, getting a little bit of a bounce. High of the pre-market at the moment. That could change very soon. 36.35 is your high of your pre-market. Above this, we do have a level here, 39.47. So another great level of our support and resistance as well. And then above that, we got this gap down that we had a couple of weeks ago, right on here, 42.11. I'm going to mark that down there as well. And towards the bottom, very similar to what we're seeing in a lot of these stocks. Are getting a little bit of a bounce after being beat up pretty badly the last couple of weeks. This one already has great support, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close line there as well. Here's Apple again. Apple, yes, we talked about Apple earlier. We know it's been very, very nasty and chopping around here, so it's kind of stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, but it has potential. This is the company that I'll be watching today as far as tech goes. Towards the bottom, we have 121.12. We wish Apple was 12. 121.20, low of the pre-market here, and a pre-market high sitting at 122.26. So that's what we have for Apple, guys. Again, we're looking for volume to come in here at the market open. They have 1.4 right now, but again, just kind of chopping around at the moment. We're looking for a nice breakout if we can get that going today. Might not happen today, might be tomorrow, but we do have the space to watch that today, especially with the way this watch is building up at the moment. Here is NEO. High of the pre-market for NEO will be 38.93, so we'll throw a level there. Again, also very similar stock, getting a little bit of a bounce. Tesla looks exactly the same, so if you like trading Tesla, you could put that one on deck. But this one has a great pre-market action and great volume, guys, 1.3 right now. So towards the top, we got another great daily here, daily level 41.11. Look at this beautiful area of resistance, support that you're getting there. That's a nice one. And obviously up here, this area, you're getting a lot of support, resistance as well, right on there at 44.62. That'll be a stretch, but 41.13 is definitely a target we can get today if this thing wants to push higher here. Now towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, 34.71, guys, a great area of support for this stock. We've seen that over and over again. Look at the beautiful bounce that we got here also in early March. So let's see if this is going to hold one more time, and if we're going to get any type of continuation back up to this 44.62, right? Especially after the beatdown this thing has been getting. Here's Mara, guys. Mara's pre-market action looks good. This stock can be a little funky at times. It can be choppy. But I do like this pre-market action. I do like the day they had yesterday. And when they have such a great day like this one, right? Nice breakout out of this 40 area. When they're hanging out down here, they don't look as interesting. This one has made its way up back to the highs of yesterday. So now that becomes a little more interesting, especially if they could hold this previous day close. They're losing it now, but if they can hold this and break out, that can create a nice continuation for us here. And we have not been up here in some time. So 45.89 is the level that we have above the pre-market highs in the previous day close here and the highs from yesterday, right? So we're kind of flirting with that level right now. Slightly above that, obviously, you have this one, 49.37. And you can also mark down this one here. This one has 2 things for it, 47.71. It does have the high of this day, and also is the close of this day here as well. So you want to have that on there also towards the top there. All right, that is what we have, guys. 9:11 already, so we're running good on time. But let's take a minute to look at our moderators watch list. So let's bring this over and see what's on their list today. Bring our visuals right in here. There we go. So on our moderators list, we have IPOs for today: ACHL, COUR. Peter's looking out for those. John has a FU2U, Billy, Baidu, and Tesla. Dima has Fuel Cell Plug, CHWY, and the CCIV. Jared is looking at Apple in the tech sector. I have Apple, so again, it's not looking great right now, but that could be exciting if it gets going. With Tesla, Plug, Fuel Cell, and also some swing ideas here from Jared as well. And guys, if you haven't signed up for the swing trading alerts from Brian, please do so. Right on our website, you can go over to swing trading and sign up for the alerts. Again, pretty interesting stuff. And you can also watch his videos free on YouTube, right? He puts a video out every Sunday and every Wednesday evening. Tiffany, she's watching CHWY, Neo, Plug, and Tesla. Great list. AIM is watching BB, Facebook, CCL, secondary list, X, Neo, INTC, and American Airlines. And Peter is watching AMD, Fuel Cell, Neo, Mara, Tesla, and Apple. So very similar stocks that we're watching today, this morning, for opportunities as the market opens up today. So guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining us over on YouTube. We appreciate you guys being with us there. Also on TradingView, we started streaming there also this morning. We'll be doing so every day starting at 8 a.m. with Jared engineering the markets, and then followed by the pre-market show at 8:30 with Norm and I. So make sure you hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Remember, markets are closed on Friday, so we might get some funky trading in the next couple of days, today and tomorrow. So just be mindful of that. If you're getting stopped out a couple of times, if you're not finding your flow, it's okay to slow things down, hit the brakes, maybe trade less shares, right? Especially if you're not getting that continuation run. Be more aggressive with your partials, right? If you're getting to a point where you're at 1 hour, maybe instead of taking 25%, you got to take 50%, right? So figure out what works best for the type of market that we are in. Thor put out a great Twitter yesterday, tweet talking about how his style of trading is not working too well now, so he's making an adjustment to fit into the way the market is trading. So you need to adjust as well. You got to be very flexible when trading the market. So trade safe, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Have a good one, and take care.